Will the House come to order? Mr. Clerk?
Aloha and good afternoon. Today's invocation will be delivered by Representative Scott Y. Nishimoto. Will the members who wish to participate please rise?
Please be seated. Okay, so I am filling in for Rep. Matayoshi today. He's feeling under the weather, so I'm pinch hitting for him. Didn't exactly know what I was going to say, but kind of came up with something on the fly. My consigliere / office manager up there, Taylor Date, said, share a story since I've been here so long. So I'm going to share a story. As many of you know, I've decided to leave the legislature, and this will be my last session. I think we're on the 20th day of the session, so you have me for another 40 days. Don't smile so much, Quinlan. But so I was thinking back on my years here, and there's one kind of incident that happened my first session that has always stayed with me. So it was customary on third reading days when you're going to vote no that you told the author of the bill you're going to vote no. That's kind of gone away, but we used to do it. So my first third reading day, I said, okay, I'm going to vote no on 2 bills. Came to the floor early, found the authors, went up to the first author and said, hey, you know, I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to vote no on your bill. The legislator dug into me, yelled at me, accused me of pandering to special interest, called me expletives I've never heard before. So it was a traumatic experience. The second legislator I went up to and I said, hey, you know, sorry, I'm going to have to vote no on your bill. That legislator said, you know what, no problem, I understand. You come from a tough district. You know, we all got to make our choices. But the legislator said, hey, you know, this is important to my district, and it could be a close vote. So if I need your vote, are you willing to go WR for me? And, you know, comparing those 2 responses to the same situation really struck me, being a freshman, that there's 2 ways, or there's multiple ways to deal with things here. But we all have choices on how we're going to deal with things and what kind of legislator we want to be. And that story has always stuck with me and kind of guided what kind of legislator I want to be. Just wanted to share that with you. You know, we've got tough decisions to make. Let's decide what kind of legislator we want to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Nishimoto. Item 1, roll call. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Ayu, Mr. Alcos, Ms. Amato, Ms. Bellotti, Mr. Chun, Ms. Cochran, Mr. Evslin, Mr. Ganadin, Mr. Garcia, Mr. Garrett, Mr. Gates, Mr. Hashem, Mr. Holt, Ms. Hussey Burdick, Ms. Ichiyama, Ms. Kahaloa, Ms. Capella, Mr. Kila, Ms. Kitagawa, Mr. Kobayashi, Mr. Kong, Ms. Lachika, Ms. Lamosao, Ms. Lowen, Ms. Martin, Ms. Martinez, Mr. Matayoshi,
Excuse.
Ms. Matsumoto, Mr. Miyake, Ms. Mizuno, Ms. Morikawa, Ms. Nakamura, Mr. Nakashima, Mr. Nishimoto, Mr. Onishi, Ms. Peruso,
Excuse.
Mr. Pirik, Ms. Poepoe, Mr. Quinlan, Mr. Saiki, Mr. Sayama, Ms. Souza, Mr. Takayama,
Excuse.
Ms. Takenouchi, Mr. Tam, Mr. Tarnas, Mr. Todd, Mr. Ward, Mr. Woodson, Mr. Yamashita, Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, 48 members are present, 3 are excused.
Thank you. Item 2, reading of the journal. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move we dispense with the reading of the journal of the 12th and 13th days and approve the same as though read throughout.
Representative Garcia.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the journals days 12 and 13 be approved. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Item 3, Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the governor?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Item 4, Mr. Clerk, are there any Senate communications?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Members, introductions. Representative Nishimoto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When I look up into the gallery, I know we have many dignitaries here today, and I have no doubt they'll be introduced. I did want to introduce one of them. Many of you know my girlfriend, Debbie. Her auntie, Lynn Waihe, is in the audience. Aunt Lynn, can you please stand to be recognized?
Representative Bellotti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, as some of you may know, February is National Children's Dental Health Month. Here at home, the Hawaii Dental Association Foundation, through their Give Kids a Smile program, supports our community through a variety of initiatives. All of this leads up to the Give Kids a Smile Day on Saturday, February 24th at the Waikiki Health Makahiki Clinic in Mo'iliili, where keiki of all ages are able to receive free dental services. On behalf of the State House, I'd like to thank the Hawaii Dental Association Foundation for their commitment to serving our community and improving oral health outcomes for our youth. With us today are members representing the foundation and Give Kids a Smile. Please rise when I call your name. Dr. Jackie Palola, Dr. Anthony Kim, Dr. Rochelle DePascal, Dr. Kayleen Fukuda, Dr. Aaron Harada, and Brittany Scanlon. Thank you for joining us.
Representative Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are very honored to have in the gallery special guests who have come to help us celebrate the 50th anniversary of Jakuan at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. So guests, please rise as I call your name, and members, please hold your applause until the very end. Former U.S. Congresswoman Colleen Hanabusa, former First Lady Mrs. Jean Ariyoshi, my good friend, colleague, Representative Nishimoto, did introduce Mrs. Waihe. If you could please stand as well. Okay, we'll just hold the applause to the end, please. There's got quite a few names here. From the University of Hawaii at Manoa, their Chief Global Officer, Mr. Brent White. Okay. From the Urasenke Foundation, we have several guests as well. Noguchi Hideo, Kurokawa Akemi, Murata Hitoshi, Murata Noriko, Shiozawa Ritsuko. From the University of Hawaii at Manoa Center for Japanese Studies, Ms. Joan Pan, Ms. Sachiko Roos, Mr. Adam Tanare Jr., and Ms. Pauline Yang. And we also have several students from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Madeline Gilbert, Gwendolyn Hinckley, Hana Ichinose, Kiyohide Noguchi, Justin Peterson, Taiki Sano, Jennifer Tse, and Erida Yamamoto. If I didn't call you and you're here to help us celebrate, please also rise at this time. Oh, I guess I got everyone. Okay. Hawaii Shugikai, Kainga Yokoso. Welcome to the Hawaii State House of Representatives.
Representative Sayama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Also in the gallery today, we have a few more members from the Urasenke Tea Foundation, including my mother, Yumiko Sayama. If you can please stand to be recognized, welcome to your House of Representatives. どうぞ立ってください。
Representative Ganadin.
Mr. Speaker, also in the gallery, we have some student advocates from the Berkeley School of Law Policy Advocacy Clinic, Cameron Clark, Ava Kargosha, and Stephanie Spear. You might see them in your offices. They are advocating for youth justice today. Thank you.
Members, with no further introductions, let's move on to the order of the day. Item 5, Mr. Clerk, are there any floor presentations?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we have one floor presentation today. House Resolution Number 11, congratulating the University of Hawaii at Manoa's Center for Japanese Studies Way of Tea Center on Jakuan's 50th anniversary. This resolution is offered by Representative Garrett.
Representative Garrett.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt the resolution before us.
Representative Sayama.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the resolution be adopted. Any discussion? Representative Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand in strong support of this resolution. As you know, the House of Representatives takes great pride in recognizing outstanding individuals and organizations who have significantly contributed to our community, state, and country. Since 1972, the University of Hawaii at Manoa has been the proud home of Jakuan, or Hut of Tranquility, a traditional Japanese tea house set in Seiin, or Garden of Purity, located near the East-West Center. This resolution is in celebration of its 50th anniversary and a recognition of the contributions of Jakuan to our state. Under the leadership of Director Mark Levin of the University of Hawaii Center for Japanese Studies, Jakuan has helped transmit Japanese culture and aesthetics beyond the borders of Japan to Hawaii. Over the years, thousands of UH students, like Mr. Sirawich Hong Samata and Ms. Kara Shaw, co-vice presidents of the UH Way of Tea Club, have become acquainted with the Japanese way of tea, or chanoyu, or chado, under the expert instruction of Ms. Akiko Ono Riley and her predecessors. Chanoyu is one of Japan's most important cultural traditions that has influenced the country's art, architecture, cuisine, letters, literature, and even philosophy and politics for centuries. Jakuan was constructed when Dr. Sen Genshitsu, formerly Sen Soshitsu, commissioned the building of Jakuan with materials and skilled craftspersons, all brought over from Japan. It is a great honor that Dr. Sen is here with us today. Mr. Speaker, I now yield to my colleague from St. Louis Heights and Palolo Valley to share more about Dr. Sen.
Thank you, Representative Sayama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my great honor to introduce Honsai Daisosho Genshitsu-sen, the 15th generation Grand Tea Master of the Urasenke Japanese Tea School of Tea. Through Chado, the way of tea, Dr. Sen has promoted the profound motto, peacefulness through a bowl of tea. Traveling around the world serving tea to dignitaries and world leaders alike, Dr. Sen has earned such honors as the UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador, Japan Prime Minister's Award, and many, many more. In his earlier years, Dr. Sen studied philosophy and art at the University of Hawaii. Never forgetting his ties with Hawaii and the university, Dr. Sen has started the annual Urasenke Hawaii Seminar, established the Hawaii Urasenke Foundation, and built Jakuan Tea House. It is thanks to Dr. Sen's dedication to sharing the joy of tea that Hawaii can enjoy the vibrant cultural practice of chado. As Dr. Sen celebrates his 101st birthday this year, he hopes that chado will continue to thrive and grow with the next generation of Hawaii. Daisosho-sama, Hawaii-shu Kain-gikai e yokoso. Mr. Speaker, I would like to now yield back to the representative from Manoa.
Representative Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, may I please ask our honored guests, Director Mark Levin, Dr. Sen Genshitsu, Ms. Akiko Ono Riley, Mr. Sirawich Hong Samata, and Ms. Kershaw to please stand so you may be recognized. It is my great pleasure and privilege to congratulate the University of Hawaii Center for Japanese Studies on the 50th anniversary of Jakuan, and to Dr. Sen Genshitsu a very happy 100th birthday. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Members, all those in favor say aye. The motion is carried. Representative Garrett, please proceed with the certificate and lay presentation. Thank you, Representative Garrett. Members, let's have another round of applause for the honorees. Going to move on to item 6. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Reports numbers 410-24 through 480-24 as listed on pages 2 through 19, and that the accompanying House bills as may be amended pass second reading and/or be referred to their designated committees.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussions on STANCOM Report 410-24? 411, 412, 413, next page, 414, 415, 416, 417, next page, 418, 419, 420, 421, next page, 422, 423.
Mr. Speaker,
Representative Capella.
on 422,
Let's go on to 422.
with
Proceed.
reservations.
So ordered. Moving back to SCR 423, 424, 425. Next page. 426, 427, 428. Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Moving on to 429. Next page. 430, 431, 432, 433. Next page. 434, 435, 436. Representative Ward.
Speaker, I rise in strong support of this bill.
Proceed.
You know, the data says we are 40% of our food is wasted. Mr. Speaker, this is exactly pushing us in the opposite direction. It's saying, hey, we can actually feed people some of the food that is processed for nonprofits, which comes hopefully from Access Deer and all the other places that we can have an excess, including chickens, not cats, but chickens. We've got all this excess protein we're not using. This bill opens the door for that. I commend the authors of that, and I hope this sails through, and it feeds a lot of people with good protein. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. All right, members, we're moving on to SCR 437. Next page. 438, 439, 440, 441. Next page. 442, 443, 444, 445. Next page. 446, 447, 448, 449. Next page. 450. Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Moving on to 451, 452, 453. Representative Kong.
452, please.
Proceed.
With reservations.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Moving back to 453. Next page. 454, 455, 456, 457. Representative Hussey Burdick.
Reservations, please.
So ordered. Representative Kong.
With reservations.
So
Thank you.
ordered. Moving on to SCR 458. Next page. 459, 460, 461, 462. Next page. Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Perry.
In opposition,
Proceed.
this bill can hurt the economy. It would increase overhead costs for rental car companies, and this cost would then be passed on to the consumer, which could be Hawaii residents. I'm voting no.
Thank you. Moving on to the next page. SCR 463, 464. Representative Pirrick?
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Garcia?
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Ward?
Same request.
So ordered. Representative Matsumoto?
Reservations.
So ordered. Representative Alcos?
No vote.
So ordered. Moving on to 465, Representative Pirrick?
No vote.
So ordered. Moving on to 466, Representative Garcia?
Reservations.
So ordered. Next page, 467, 468, 469, 470, Representative Garcia?
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Kong?
With reservations.
So ordered. Representative Ward?
No vote.
So ordered. Moving on to the next page, 471, Representative Kong?
Thank you, Speaker. No vote.
So ordered. Representative Pirrick?
In opposition?
Proceed.
The goal of this measure is to reduce basically people's access to cigarettes, tobacco, and electronic smoking. That's an admirable intent. I agree with the intent. However, the method is to give the counties the ability to tax this, and I think this is a state's responsibility when taxing products.
Representative Garcia?
Reservations.
So ordered. Representative Tarnas?
In support.
Proceed.
Just to make it clear, if you could read the bill, the state retains the ability to tax tobacco products and other products in this rather than the county. Thank you. I urge members to support this. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, members, we're moving on to SCR 472, 473, Representative Garcia?
Reservations.
So ordered. 474, next page. 475, Representative Pirrick?
No vote.
So ordered. 476, 477, 478, Representative Capella?
On 477,
Proceed.
no vote, please.
So ordered. Representative Hussey Burdick?
Reservations, please.
So ordered. With no further comments on 477, move back to 478. Next page. 479, 480. Members, I'll be taking
Oh, sorry.
oh,
Mr. Speaker,
Representative Kong?
480.
480.
No vote, please.
No vote. No vote.
Yes, no vote.
So ordered. All right. We'll be taking a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Item 7, Mr. Clerk, are there any resolutions for action?
Mr. Speaker, there are no resolutions for action. May all others be referred to print.
So ordered. Item 8, members, are there any announcements? With no announcements, let's move on to adjourn. Representative Morikawa?
Mr. Speaker, I
Actually,
move that
hold
this...
on, Representative Morikawa. Forgot to make an announcement. Members, the chair would like to remind committee chairs that today is the first lateral filing deadline. This deadline is for bills that need to move to their final committees. Please file your committee reports and drafts with the Chief Clerk's office by 9 p.m. this evening. Again, that's 9 p.m. this evening. Thank you. Representative Morikawa?
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 12 o'clock noon tomorrow.
Representative Garcia?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. The House stands adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.